Vancouver Island is gorgeous. Residents love to say that Canada's west coast is the best coast, and checking this out, it's kind of hard to disagree. We're on our way to Enrico Winery. It's been called #1 winery on Vancouver Island, I think by TripAdvisor 5 years in a row, so they sound super fun.
Thanks. Oh, you stupid. Can I pour for you?
Sure, please.
Okay, why not? Ladies first, though. You're very welcome.
They've got award-winning wines, which we want to check out.
We won the Lieutenant Governor's Award for Excellence in Wines in BC. It's the highest accolade that you can win in winemaking in British Columbia.
They were founded by quite a legendary hockey player.
Hurricane Henry for many years as well, and he was called Dirty Harry as well in his hockey career. So he had quite an illustrious career, old Harry did.
So I think it's pretty fun that a Canadian winery has a connection to hockey. So this is where we are, and that's where we're going. Okay, so as you know, because of this pandemic, our little cast and crew couldn't join us, but in the entertaining world of wine, there are stories that need to be told, and the show must go on. The tasting room is like the stage of a winery. It's where you invite the audience to come in and experience the show.
So sparkling. 2 whites, a rosé, and 2 reds, if that sounds okay.
Basically slipped and fell into a winery. And we called it Book Club. And we just ended up all becoming friends, and that's been going on now for 3 years.
See, that's what I love about wine. It brings us together.
It's all the friends coming together. And now it just seems that Book Club might be every day instead of just Tuesday. So.
Literacy is everyone's business.
It is.
The tasting room, it's the first contact that a customer has with the personality of a winery, which is what makes it so important. And Enrico does it really well. Who started it? You?
Yeah, Harry Smith started it back. He bought the property in late 1990s, 1998, 1999. The mastermind behind the whole thing passed away about 2 months ago, and it was sad could be losing Harry. He was a larger than life character.
Was he a hockey player? Is that what
He
I
was
heard?
a hockey player. He was actually one of the stars on the 1961 Trail Smoke Eaters.
I just love that a Canadian winery has a connection to hockey. It's like,
Yeah, that's where the name came from as well. So I mean, Enrico, one of the stories that we always say is that the name translated from Spanish became Enrico, and that's where we did it.
I don't know if you know the difference between a slutty Chardonnay and a not slutty Chardonnay.
oh, do tell.
Some girls came in and they said, "Oh, this isn't a slutty Chardonnay." And I'm like, you girls got to tell me, what is a slutty Chardonnay? And so she tells me and she goes, "Well, slutty Chardonnays, they ride the wood too long. This one, not slutty, just a little bit of time." So I don't tell that one to everyone, only a select few get the experience.
You guys haven't put that in the tasting
It's
note
not
there,
in the
no?
tasting notes.
I think everybody who's ever bought a bottle of wine's gone into a wine store and you've seen the little shelved, talkers. It's 90 points or it's 91 points. And a lot of people, that means everything. So we're here with 2 master judges, Rick and Mary from the BC Guild of Wine Judges, and see what's involved in that whole process of evaluating a wine.
And for it to have scored this high for such a young wine means somebody up there knows what they're doing in their winemaking skills.
It was very complex. It was very intense. I was getting tobacco leaf, and in the background, then I was getting this dry, dusty, woody type of characteristic that was coming through. A little bit of smoke and some tobacco leaf, even some savory came through in there.
I thought this was very smooth on the palate, very silky on the tongue, good mouthfeel. In the finish, I found, however, that balance lacked a little bit. The tannins did for me tend to overpower some of the fruit, and I'm getting more tannin than I am fruit. It's a young wine, and with aging, those tannins will soften, they will relax a little, and then the fruit will have the opportunity to come forward in the finish.
Full points for balance. The astringency, I've got a little arrow going up, but I like that astringency. And Mary was criticized astringency, but I think if you had this wine with food, that astringency would totally balance off with if you had some protein with it. So that's why I was up into the gold medal, I think, and Mary was not.
Excuse me, I just want to correct.
I did
not say that it was highly tannic in the balance. I said that it was smooth and silky and had good mouthfeel. I said that in the finish, the tannins overpowered the fruit. In the palate, it was a beautiful balance of that. So I just want to make sure.
But not even finished yet. She still has to try to get the last word in. Everything in the nose came through into the initial flavor, which was really nice to see, and that's indicative of a good quality wine when I'm seeing that happen. I was getting an elegant finish with this wine. Everything was all melded together. It was a long, complex finish, and the ripe tannins came through into the finish. And for me, this was a low gold medal wine. This is where I'd be at on this wine.
Holistically, Silver Plus, if we were in a competition, I might be talked into giving this a low gold score. The philosophy is that's why they make different kinds of wine, people.
And I'm confident.
There's a wine for everyone.
I'm confident in a competition I'd be able to talk Mary into a gold medal.
Everyone in the world of wine loves to talk about terroir. Terroir describes everything that affects the taste of a wine: the soil, the weather, the climate, the altitude and aspect of a vineyard.
He pulled the weather reports on this specific address, and it received more sunshine than any other address in the entire Cowichan Valley. A lot of it had to do with wind directions, where our proximity to the ocean on that side, proximity to the mountains on the backside.
And so that's part of the terroir
That's obviously, part of the terroir, and I mean our little microclimate that we've got. We're talking about the terroir and the ground conditions, soil conditions. We've got very little dirt. We go down probably only a foot, then we go into a sandy loam, and then into cobbles, and hence Cobble Hill. That's pretty much what it is. And in most cases, it's 42 to 48 inches. And we hit this granite slip zone, and it's all glacial till. And of course, granite is beneficial in grapes, and I think that has a lot to do with why we produce what we do produce here. This is the hub.
This is where Captain Kirk sits and does his...
That's right, Scotty.
This one, I got another story for you. We had a little teeny tiny old lady. She was sitting just up top with us there. And I think it was her 80th birthday that she was celebrating with us. And we give her the wine, and she sits there and she goes, and I'm really worried that we've given her a heart attack. But she goes, oh my gosh. And I say, are you okay? And she goes, this right here tastes like the first boy I ever kissed. And we said to her, we go, are you sure you kissed a dirty, smoking, drinking farmer? She goes, oh yeah, that's exactly who I kissed.
Wow. Because this has an incredible nose.
Oh yeah, you pick it up right. I can't lie to you and say it's not dirty, because it is.
No, that's amazing. Oh, that's a great story.
It's a good story. Yeah, I love it.
2015, in the Lieutenant Governor's Award for Excellence in Wines in BC, Enrico Winery actually won it. And so what the significance of that is that it brought Vancouver Island to the limelight in Canada and definitely in British Columbia, so that people can understand that Vancouver Island, we grow grapes,
right,
and we make world-class wine. For years and years, people always say, well, you can't grow grapes on Vancouver Island. And people would ask us that, especially when we go to Vancouver and do competitions. They'd always ask me where I get the grapes from, and Costco is what I used to tell them. But we don't obviously get them from Costco. We actually grow the grapes. And people go, oh my God, I didn't know Vancouver Island could grow grapes. They picked the 12 best wines in all of British Columbia. And to win that is absolutely monstrous. And it's a great honor to win it. It's the highest accolade you can win. So it not only Enrico Winery, we're super proud of it, but Vancouver Island is super proud of it as well.
Right. How do you describe that feeling?
Yeah, wine critic from Vancouver had phoned. She says, so can you tell me what the feeling is like? So I says, well, I guess the only way I could compare it would be very Stanley Cupish, I said. And so I got coined the phrase Stanley Cupish. A little embarrassing, but as a Canadian, you can understand the significance of it, right?
Absolutely. You know, as a sommelier, I love the entertaining world of wine. I love going to wineries, of trying their wines, meeting the people, hearing their stories, discovering their terroir and what makes them unique. As a songwriter and a slam poet, I love the challenge of then taking those elements and moving them around like pieces on a chessboard to create something magical that captures my experience.
It's been a revelation is what I'm saying. And they've let me come and spend the week exploring, finding out about the tasting room, the wines, the vineyard, the terroir, asking questions about everything, hearing fun stories of people who've experienced Enrico wines, and that's what's brought us to this point right now. There's a part for you to play here. I sing Arriba! And you would, with a glass of Enrico wine, say Arriba! I say Abajo! Down. You could toast down with your glass. Al centro, pretty sure even if you don't speak Spanish, you understand al centro, right in the middle there. Ad pa dentro, bottoms up. So we toast life, the good times, the bad times, everything in between, and we toast it together. West Coast in the beautiful weather, great wines and friends get together, or a glass and the day gets better. Memories will last forever. Welcome to Enrico. Last time. Arriba! Arriba! Abajo! Abajo! Centro! Centro! Dentro! Dentro! Arriba! Arriba! Abajo! Abajo! Centro! Welcome to Enrico! All right, let's do a little recap on what you might have learned in this week's episode. You might have learned in vino verde and aqua sanitas, the Latin phrase, in wine there is truth, in water there is health, the suggestion that people who drink are inclined to be more honest. We learned how to toast together in the official, unofficial Spanish toast. We learned something about the unique terroir of Vancouver Island, that not only do they grow grapes, they produce award-winning wines on Canada's west coast. We're reminded about how wine can bring us together, create opportunities for people to connect and develop a sense of community, and how wine can be so tied up with our memories of incredible experiences like that 80-year-old woman who just was taken right back to her first kiss with that dirty, smoky, dusty farmer. What a fun story. The wine judges taught us that an award-winning wine has a complex aroma bouquet that follows through to the palate and reveals a long, elegant finish. We learned that there's such a thing as a slutty Chardonnay. As a sommelier, I love the entertaining world of wine. As a producer and a performer, I love being inspired by these wines and wineries to create art that I can share back with them and with you. So until next time,